Hi class, let's start the chapter. Now, in this chapter, chapter 8, we will talk about management and leadership, the difference between them. So the objective is describe the change occurring today in the management function. What change has happened in the management function? Describe the 4 functions of management. We will relate the planning process, decision making to accomplishment of company's goals. We will describe for you the organizing function of management, explain the difference between leaders and managers, and describe the various leader styles. We're also going to summarize the 5-step of control function of management. In the management rules is evolving is according to the market actually. And here what we see is a general term that resource. It is a general term that incorporate a human resource, national resource, financial resource. They include factors of production. So we have 3 factors of reproduction. It could be the financial, the human, and the natural resources. And these are type of resources needed in order to be part of a production and create a production there. Now, managers now guiding, training, supporting, motivating, and coaching employees is not only telling them what they're supposed to do, they are guiding them. They are providing the training of how to do it. They are also supporting and motivating and, the coaching team. The emphasis is on the teamwork and cooperation. And this is why we do lots of group assignment, is because manager look more emphasize on the teamwork and cooperation. Employees is not seen as an employees, as a partner. That's the way they look at it. And these days, more females, so there is more adjustment to the work environment, which is necessary because they are partners. Females, you should look at females as our partner and us in a way. So employees seen as a partner, more female, and there is younger workers. Managers of tomorrow expect to be definitely skilled, different kind of a skilled, and communicators, good communicators, and also they are team players. Their job is motivated, and they can be supposed to be leaders. In the future, more work be completed in a team and with more transparency. So we're moving to more team-oriented work than individual-oriented work. And this is what we are trying to prepare you that to be working as a team. Now, what's the function of management? Usually, the process used to accomplish organization goal through a planning, organizing, leading, and controlling people and other organizational resources. And we're going to get into details of each one of them. But when it comes to the planning, it's about a management function that includes anticipating trends and determining the best strategies and tactics to achieve it, organizational goals and objectives. So you look at the trends, how you can accomplish your goals through using tactics to achieve it. Organizing, on the other hand, is the management function that include designing the structures, how these things supposed to work with each other, different resources in order to deliver the goal in the plan. And it's in other words, the management function that include designing the structure of organization and creating conditions and system in which everyone and everything work together to achieve the organizational goal and objective. You would find lots of issues that they say they don't create enough environment for us to produce or to perform efficiently or effectively. And that's the manager's job to create that environment for individuals to perform effectively and efficiently. Then you have the leading, the management job. One of the main function is the leading, creating a vision within that group, if he's a line manager or with his department, if he is department manager, creating a vision that of the organization and guiding it, training, coaching, and motivating others to work effectively to achieve the organization goals and the objective. So he has to be the leader, same time leading the teams, make sure that the team trusts him when he asks them to do something. They should be feeling that he would have done it if they were in he was in his, or she was in in the other people's shoes. So in general, we said what do managers do is a different what the leaders do. In the managers is usually do a planning, they do leading, organizing, and controlling. A leader is a person who facilitates everything to have others to succeed. Here, a manager is doing a leading, not a leader. So the planning is about setting up organizational goal, to developing the strategy to reach these goals, determining the resources needed, and setting the precise standard. That's part of the planning of the manager. In the organizing field, allocating resources, assigning tasks, establishing the process, recruiting. You just go through these points and try to see the difference. And so basically is planning, leading, organizing, controlling. Organizing and controlling is the first line of manager's job. What added to that is leading and planning in these days. Now let's look at planning and decision making in general. You have a vision, a company have a vision, and I brought the example of if you have a big boat, a small boat versus the big ship. In a big ship, there is members in that ship. So to go from point A to B with a small boat, you are the only one in the boat. You can maneuver between obstacles. But if you have a big ship and you need to set up a strategy and tactic between point A to B, because there is somebody in here supposed to cook in that big ship. Somebody is supposed to do sailing in that ship. There is a captain. There is gas needed in that big ship. So all these people should know how long it takes, where they're supposed to stop, what they should take in order to go. So here where you need to do a strategic planning and a tactic with it. If you have only boat, you can go alone, you can do a tactic, easy move things around. But with a ship, you need an organization, strategic planning. Same thing with companies. The bigger is the company, the more you need a strategic plan, which is then you can develop different plan from that strategic plan. And this should be shared with other C-level management so they can organize their department accordingly. So chief information officer should know about it, chief financial officer should know about it, chief operation officer should has access to it. All these guys will build a sub plan in order to meet the strategic plan. So the vision is an encompassing explanation of why company exists and where it's trying to head. Then there is a value, which is a set of fundamental beliefs that guide the business in the decision making. And then mission statements, so we want to be the best or the cheapest or fastest, which is an outline of fundamental purpose of an organization. And there is a goal, which is the broad, long-term accomplishment. Organization wants to be the leader of the market, for example, wishing to attain. But to reach to that goal, there is objectives, specific, measurable, short-term statement details how to achieve organization goals. So you have an organization goal, which is made of objectives, realistic objective, and these objectives, when you accomplish all of them, you're supposed to reach to their goal. A sample of mission statement, we have like a maple leaf says, bring the world to its feet. I think Raptors is using, we are the North. Love Law says, live life well. These are some samples of mission statement that you find with the mid-sized to large-sized companies. I will attach two videos, one on a SWOT analysis and one on TOES analysis, which is they could go together to help you to clarify what's your plan. So SWOT analysis is a planning tool used to analyze organizational strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Strength, SWOT, S, strength, W, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Two of them are internal and two of them external. So the threat is external, the opportunity is external, but strength within you as an organization and weakness within you as an organization, you need to analyze them in order to build a plan. But the fundamental question is to ask here, what is the gap between where an organization is and now and where it wants to be? So once you know that gap, you can see how you can get to there and reach there. How to get there from here. That's what your planning all about. So when you do the SWOT analysis, as I said, there is two good videos that I'm going to attach. Look at them. It's a potential internal strength, potential internal weakness. You have to see these. Potential external opportunities and potential external threat. With balancing all these, you know where you can emphasize on your strength, what is your weakness, you can eliminate it or change it to a strength, and what is the opportunities that you can focus on and how to avoid the external threat. So planning is basically, as we said, you start with a strategic planning, and we talked about the big shift. It's a long setting of board, long range goals, moving from point A to B by the top manager, like the captain, for example. Then you have what you call a tactical planning or tactics, is identification of a specific short range objective by a lower manager. When you set up the tactics, then you can drive an operational planning, that's the setting of work standard and schedule. So you do give it to the operational line managers, set as a plan, small plan, you do this. I want your organization does that, your sector does that. And then you have to have a contingency plan. What if this fail? What if you cannot deliver this year? It takes longer. These are contingency plan. A project manager usually are good in this too also. The project manager looks at it in the three things, and he's balancing the three things. First of all, he looks at the scope, what the things that you need to deliver, and the timing and the cost for that. And any change of any one of them will lead to change in the another one. So if you change the costing and you want a lower price, that means maybe longer terms or less scope or a combination. So these three has to balance together: scope, time, and money. Our goal when we are in a line managers or management, we try to find the best alternative between the options that we have. You keep your option open, but you select the best one. So here how we do that, we define the situation, what we are in the situation. And this, we usually describe and collect needed information to find the situation and the alternative solution. Then we develop the alternative from the information. Then we choose between these alternatives, which is develop an agreement among these involved. Once we choose it, we try to do a consent with the team or the stakeholders for certain solution. And this can be done by deciding which alternative is the best. Once we decide that, we go and indicate or implement it. And then we decide, we look at it, we determine whether the decision was a good one, need to do more or change it. And we need to do, we have to do a follow-up to find out have we met the solution or the goal from our activities. But you know, any organization made of many systems. Our goal is to unify these systems and make it look like a one piece of system. Whether you have resources, money, or knowledge, these all have to be together as a one unit. So we are into unifying the system. And how we do that, we first of all, we look at organizing. How are we going to organize the resources, such as a fund that we have, and we talked about project manager, how they do that, assigning tasks, establishing procedures for the accomplishing the organization objective. The other way, we have to have some kind of an organizational chart indicating who is in charge, who's supposed to report to what, and how the communication and workflow is happening. Then we have what we call the top management, the middle management, and the supervisory management, or the entry-level management. And the top managers have same tasks like a middle and supervisories, but the amount that he has to spend in each one of them is differently from each one of them. And top manager, highest level of management, is consist of the president and other key company executive who develop the strategies plan. In the middle management, the level of management that include general manager, division manager, brand manager, plant manager responsible for tactical and planning control. And then you have the supervisor or the supervisory management, managers who are directly responsible for supervising the workers and evaluating their daily performance. So the organizational chart looks that this way, and this is the official one. You're always going to see something unofficial that you don't have it, where, for example, if you look at maybe first line supervisor has to report that, but he's a friend with B or a C, or so this is the official chart. There is also unofficial chart. When you're in a business, you should be, or an organization should be aware of that also. But overall, it's like a pyramid. So there is, but the whole thing, when a big company or mid-sized company, there's a board of directors to appoint the C levels, the CEO, chief executive officer, or the top general manager, and then the general manager or the chief executive officer appoint the C level, other C like chief financial officer, chief information officer, chief operation officers. He has to appoint them. And then each one of them, they can appoint their management in each department, and the management, they can appoint a supervisor, first line, and first line has his own team, the non-supervisory employee. This is the level of management. Now, we have the technical, human relation, and conceptual. In the technical, in the level of management, and we said each one, they have to have these three, but some of them will have more focus on that certain part and less focus on certain part. But in general, any manager should have a technical skill that involve the ability to perform tasks in a specific discipline or department, should have a human relation skills that communicate and motivate, enable the managers to work through and with the people, and the conceptual, the skills that involve the ability to see the future, to picture the organization as a whole and the relationship among the various parts. You can see in the next slide, here's the top managers. He doesn't need that much in the green part, doesn't need that much technical skill. But when it comes to the conceptual skill, he must be very strong in the conceptual skills, a fine person in the human relationship skill. But then when you look at the middle manager, it's balanced the three across. They're all same sizes. And when it comes to the first line, they don't need to spend that much on the understanding and the conceptual skill, but they have to be really, really strong in the technical skills to supervise the non-managerial employees. Provide a continuous vision and value. Leaders must always communicate visions and rally the others around them. So if the company has no vision, then the company has no direction. It's always his job should establish corporate values, promote the corporate ethics, what kind of ethics, whether country ethic, cultural ethic, company's ethics, embrace the transformational changes if there is a changes happening there, and stress accountability and responsibility. This is the video I'm going to attach to look at it is Mission Possible. This is one of the company who is stressed on accountability and responsibility. And then you have the transparency. This is one of the things that lower level managers and all the management level, they like to see the transparencies from the top to the bottom. The presentation of a company fact and a figure in a way is clear. We can see that. It's also accessible and apparent to all stakeholders, people who are involved in that company. Now, when it comes to the leadership, there is so many studies done about the leadership and type of leadership, and what makes you a leader, what does not make you a leader. But there is different type of leaders. That's what you call the autocratic leadership, involve making managerial regular decisions without consulting others. And then you have what you call a democratic leadership, consists of managers and employee working together to make a decision, group thinking and all these things. And then the free reign leadership, usually they give you the task and they tell you, you make decision how to get to that goal. And this is a lot, you can see it in the sales department, they do that. Transformational leadership occurs when the leaders can influence others to follow them in a working to achieve a desired outcome or a goal. So they're following them. And this is sometimes you see them in a war. If the leader is a front, soldiers fight better than the leader back, and as the soldiers go front fight. And then you have what you call a transactional leadership, which is the leader is giving the power to assign tasks. Okay, you do that, and they're successful in completion lead toward the reinforcement. So he assigned tasks, and anybody succeed, he's gonna give transactional rewards and reinforcement. Knowledge. This is an issue that many companies suffers from them recently because of the lots of software developed in this field can help you. Learning management system that you utilize is one of the management application, knowledge management application. In the old days, a manager can take a trip somewhere and get trained and comes back and not share this information with the employees. Or a manager can get some information about the future of the company and not share this. These days, companies is trying to be more transparent and easy to reach to this information, because finding the right information, keeping the information in a readily accessible place and making the information known to everyone in the firm is very important, and it needs skills in the knowledge management. As we say, knowledge is a power. Controlling, making sure the works is going fine. So this is, we said, this is a line manager's job is controlling. And controlling may have made up 5 stages. First, you need to establish a clear performance standard, KPI, key performance indicators. You need to monitor and record actual performance. Are they going according to your KPIs, or they are variance, achieved more, less? You need to look at that. And to do that means that you compare the result against the plan and the standard you established. And then you communicate this result, which is number 4, and deviation to the employees involved. If they're overachieved, they need a reward. Underachieved, they need a support. And then how you're going to take it as a manager, you take a corrective action and provide a positive feedback for work well done. As I said, overachieved, you give a reward. Underachieved, you give a motivation and some kind of see where you can improve so they can perform better. But you need to put the standards is realistic. If it's overachieved, it cannot be achieved and not realistic, people would not be motivated to reach that. If it's a low, people would not be excited to do that. So are the standard realistic? After you approve that, you think that, you need to establish a clear standard, as I said. Then you need to monitor as a second stage here. and record the performance KPIs. Then you need to compare the result against the standard that you put in the blue, which is it realistic or not? And then whatever the result, you communicate it with the employees, your manager. So whether you need more power, you need to motivate, more pay. And if needed, as we said, you can take the corrective action, whether the standards is realistic or not, make it more realistic, or you need to more resources to make it realistic. So the key criteria for measuring success these days, in old days, we used to say customer satisfaction. Before that, we said our manager satisfaction. This is totally changed now. It's customer satisfaction or financial satisfaction or managerial satisfaction. These became a traditional. Today, the goal is delighting the customer, not customer satisfaction. Get them excited, happy to get these things, this service and product from you. And you have what you call external customers and internal customers. You need to deal with these people. They could be the dealers who promote your product, or it could be the inside people. They are also your customers. So in this chapter, we talked about management functions are changing because the employees are better educated and seen as a partner. There is an emphasis on a teamwork, and we talked, this is why we emphasize on it, some team group assignment. The four functions of management are planning, organizing, leading, and controlling, and there is the details under it. The types of planning that managers undertake could be a strategic, tactical, contingencies, and operational. And we brought the example of the big ship versus the boat. Organizing means collecting resources. Organizing means allocating resources, assigning tasks, establishing procedures, accomplishing organization objective, is managing all the resources and organizing them. The leaders create the vision to allow others to follow, not the managers. Leadership style include, like we said, about the autocratic, the participated, who talks with this, and the free rein, just give them the goal and they have to do, and the transformative and transactional. The control function, it is about establishing a clear standard, a realistic standard. Then you monitor and you record, and then you compare to the KPIs, are you meeting them or not, comparing the result. Then you communicate with the employees and managers, and if necessary, taking a corrective action if it's needed. So this is the end of chapter. Thank you.